Hi guys, welcome in. Today we are going to be repairing a set of Joy-Cons that I've had for a very long time now. I don't really use the Joy-Cons too much because, well, they just don't really fit my hands correctly, as you could probably imagine. But for some reason, when I had finally gotten around to using them for fitness boxing, I found the battery life wasn't really that great. I went ahead, I tested them, and yeah, turns out that the battery just wasn't really going and doing what it should have been, a little bit of swelling and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and repair them today. I've already taken the liberty of taking out the Y screws. You can go ahead and take them out with a Y0 driver and stuff. Be sure to be careful with it, as they strip very easily. They're made out of zinc. It's not really that great. So when you go and you open up the Joy-Cons, it's very important to open them up like a book a little bit. Just ease your way around the edges a little bit. Get that side popped and then gently fold it over. Wiggle it a little bit if you need to, like so. You have these ribbon connectors here. They tear very, very easily. I don't recommend them. So we have our battery here, and this little cable literally just pops right on out. There's not a lot holding it in there, so I find that you have to be careful with it. And so you can take your little tool here, wedge it underneath. There's a little bit of adhesive they use, but not enough to really matter. And you go ahead and take your old battery out. Go ahead and put it to the side. We got some nice cheap Chinese knockoffs here. I'm sure they're probably going to be dead in like a year or two, but that's okay. You go ahead, you slide your new, assuming it wants to play well. I'll go ahead and pop this out for now. You go ahead and you slide your new cell in there. You're going to have to fight the adhesive a little bit, but that's okay. You slide it in, and then you take your little board, and you, provided it wants to play well, you go and you slip it right back in. And so it's okay to just let this portion dangle. These ribbon cables are a lot stronger than what people think they are, but you don't want them snagging per se. So after the little board is seated and stuff, you want to take your little connector here, and you want to make it to where these little tiny gold plates that you're going to find on this side are facing right side up, and then you're going to have to struggle with it a little bit because the connector is extremely small and does not like to play well with much of anything. And then once it's lined up, you take your spudger, and you are going to be fighting with it for a little bit because Nintendo doesn't really like to engineer things very well, it would seem. Don't be afraid to coil it down or coil it around and then pin it down a little bit. Give me a hot second here. I'm going to have to actually go and get it closer to my face so I can see what it is I'm doing. And I see it's probably going to be a tweezer job today. It is fine. Let's just go ahead and grab it up. Grab it, coil it, then get it nice and seated. And you just, oh Nintendo, we gotta have a talk about your engineering. It's so bad most of the time. Ugh. So, as you can see, the connector itself is rather problematic and stuff. It's really not the best, but the problem that Nintendo has frequently had throughout the years, and this kind of stems from the 3DS a little bit, is they try to shove too much stuff in too little space, and it just doesn't really work. So now we have our connector reattached and stuff and ready to go. These batteries are a little bit bigger than the stock OEM ones, but they have a little bit of a higher capacity, so it all checks out. So you're going to want to take your time going and lining everything up, and you're going to want to gently lay it in, like so. Everything's nice, it's laid in, as you can go ahead and see, and then you take your screws one by one, assuming you can get them to stick. And you're going to want to go and take your Y driver and gently get it tapped. You want to take your time with it. It doesn't always like to tap correctly. You're going to be finagling with it a little bit because small screws be small. So you just gently go and you ease it in, and then eventually it will start to tap. And you just go and you drive it gently all the way down. And then you go and you just do this for all of your screws. Just take your time with it and stuff. I recommend the Y0 drivers because it actually does not have for the most part, as far as I can tell, it does not have a pointed tip. So you don't have to really worry about stripping these screws. With Nintendo making all their screws out of zinc these days, it's not really that great, so... And you just go and you... see if I can get it to tap correctly. There we go. There we go. You just get in there and you just kind of keep driving it down and stuff, and you get it to where it needs to be. And then you just kind of take this last screw here, and you go ahead and you drive it down. It's going to take a little bit of time. Like, things like this have a tendency to scare people. They don't really like taking anything apart because they're afraid of breaking it, but what they don't really realize is that if you just take your time with it, it's never a problem. You take your time, you do it right, you don't really ever have to go and worry about it. Just be gentle with things. So this Joy-Con's actually relatively filthy, so I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol. Got our swab here. A couple pumps will do ya. And then you just kind of gently go and clean it. You don't really need to use a super high-end alcohol or anything. Mine is normally around 91%. Sometimes I get it in the 95% variety if I need something extremely clean or if I just need to go out of my way to go and strip something. But you just gently go and you take your alcohol swab and you take it all over the Joy-Con and stuff. And as you can see, there's a little bit of dirt on it. It's nothing special, really. It's just something that happens when you use it to work out and stuff. It's bound to happen, I suppose. So, now that that's nice and clean, we let it dry a fair bit. Then we can go ahead and put the boxing grip back on it. And you're good to go. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab the other one now. And I'll put that there. I'll save that for later. And let's see. Yep. This one has a fresh battery in it. But yeah, a lot of people often ask me how long it takes me to make videos. And it takes me a while. I'm the only person that goes and produces these damn things. So, it does take me a good bit to actually go and make a video. I don't have a production crew or anything like that, and so a lot of people frequently ask me, what does the upload time look like? And you're going to be watching this video about a year and a half from now, I think. It is with me trying to keep up and stuff, and keep pace with everything, trying to do a new video every Friday and stuff. It actually does take a very long time to actually go and produce these. And then I also have to compensate for like lack of vision, things like that. There's just a lot of things I think that I have to go and compensate for that a lot of people kind of forget. And then I also have to take into account whether or not I feel well enough to actually go and do said video. So most of the time when you're watching content, we're going to tap. Yep, there we go. Most of the time when you're watching a video, it's already like a year and a half old. It'll sit on my hard drive for a while until I actually get ready to release it, more or less. It's not... what I have a tendency to do is I'll go through and I'll make a ton of content, and then I will just progressively release it. And so, as per usual, you just go and you open it like a book, and all your stuff's there. So, but yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. They'll go and they'll watch a video and they'll think it's something that is actually very, very fresh when it is not. And that's kind of how I do it when you don't really have any. Ooh, wiggle. Come on, get your ass out of there. when you don't really have any sort of crew to go and give you a hand and stuff, it becomes very, very difficult, I think, past a certain point to actually go and do some things. So a lot of the time these videos go and they take a lot of planning and stuff, and a lot of people don't really understand that. They only have a tendency to understand, oh, that adhesive. Well, they're probably understanding the adhesive too, but they only understand that, there's a new video out and, everything is there, and, they don't really have a tendency to get that too much, understand how much work literally goes into all of it. So I'm going to proceed to struggle with this connector again. So the Joy-Con's going to be going and disappearing off the screen for a minute while I proceed to swear under my breath and get this connector attached. Be right back in a second. But yeah, these videos often take a very long time to go and produce. I'm normally doing it for a very, very long time, and then I have a secondary season that I normally have as well, where that season is quite literally, I shit you not, just me uploading. What normally winds up happening is I'll pick a season to actually go and film, because where I live it actually gets quite hot. And then afterwards I'll literally go and, are we going to want to play well? Come on, slide your ass in there, don't be a bitch about this. I'll normally pick a season where it's not super hot to go and film. And then from there, what I do is, since my phone has a tendency to run hot, oh, never mind, I think I see the issue here. Since my phone has a tendency to go and run hot, what I'll do is, What I'll do is, I'll go and upload as the winter draws near. Oh, jeez. And so, yeah. I have a tendency to film when it's cold because the laptop runs hot, the capture card runs hot, all of it runs hot, really, And then what winds up happening is I'll upload when it's cold as well. So during the summer months, I'm actually not, well, summer and all the way up until fall, I'm not filming anything. And a lot of people don't really realize that. Like, I have a tendency to do, over the course of like 3 months, sometimes 4, depending on how cold it is, I have a tendency to go and do a year's worth of content. And so it's not uncommon for me to be rendering one film while going and capturing another, And so a lot of people, they've always kind of wondered about that, and I always thought it was actually rather silly because, most people are like, well, don't you just work on it throughout the week? No, I don't. I'm a very busy human being. My medical life actually keeps me, very, very engaged, I think, with everything. So I don't really have the luxury of saying, okay, I'm going to pick out these days to go and film on because medical care to me is more important than going and working on YouTube. So I have a tendency when I'm feeling well to actually go and make a whole mess of content. And then it also allows me, going and making content like a year and a half actually also allows me to go and weasel out of any issues that maybe going and happening as time goes on, especially with some recordings. So let's go ahead and see here. Okay. Oh, there we go. As you can see, we have success. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up a fair bit, get them washed up and where they need to be, and we can pretty much go from there. So you don't really need much to actually go and clean these. I find that the rail has a tendency to go and get filthy. So what we're going to do is just go clean them up a little bit. You don't need anything fantastical. You don't need any special cleaner. You just need 91% alcohol and stuff. So you just go through, you wipe them down. They're going to get dirty while they sit in your hands and stuff, and you just kind of go from there. You know, don't be afraid of going and cleaning them, and you know, just get them wiped up and get them to where they need to be. And you know, these things actually get dirty really, really fast, believe it or not. So you know, go ahead and grab up Joycons, put the boxing grips back on them, since I frequently use these for fitness. Oh god, fell for it twice. Okay, I'm not tired now, not at all. So there you go. We have two sets of Joycons. Well, two Joycons. You know, they both have a fresh battery inside of them. These old cells are going to be recycled. So it was great having you guys out today. This is how you swap out your batteries. Just remember, just because the battery is dying, it doesn't mean that these belong in the landfill. So it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to actually go and make these. So I hope you guys learned something today. Till next time, take care.